So it's New Year's Eve, and as can be customary, I like to just go over things a little bit, contemplate what the year was like, what didn't work and what did work, and have a little bit of inspiration and forward looking, make some intentions. So I'm going to be speaking to the sage about this, and yeah, let's get started. And we will, or maybe not, do a practice at the end of this, depending on if the sage offers one or not. I normally do like to do practices so we can actually integrate what we're working on. But yeah, let's see what the sage says. Hi sage. Okay, so it is New Year's Eve right now, and I would like to contemplate things a little bit with you so I can have a good year ahead. And I can feel a little bit of that shame in me going like, oh, I need to make this New Year's into like a big thing. It needs to be special, that kind of a thing. So I've got set up now that we can get the sage to speak to us. So rather than me reading it for you, I'm going to try that, but you can always let me know if you'd rather I would read.
I'll help you capture this moment and track your well-being as you reflect. I hear that voice of shame, the one that says everything needs to be big, meaningful, perfect. It's interesting how New Year's Eve can amplify that inner pressure. What would happen if you let go of making this moment special and just allowed it to be what it is? The shame seems to be suggesting you need to perform even for yourself, creating an expectation that can actually disconnect you from the genuine moment. Want to sit with that for a moment? What's underneath the need to make tonight extraordinary?
So, as per usual, the sage has just taken me straight back into the present moment where, yeah, maybe it's not so necessary to do this big contemplation and intention setting and really get the year right. Maybe it's just about being present here and now, starting with this evening. So I'm going to speak back. So, yeah, I don't know if it's about making this evening extraordinary and spectacular. I think I don't worry about that too much. More what I'm thinking about is that I feel like I need to somehow bring this year to an end and start the new year in like a way that's going to help set it up really well. Let's see what will happen with the app. That's better.
I hear that. There's a subtle difference between forcing something and intentionally orienting yourself. You're not trying to make the evening spectacular, but you want to create a meaningful transition. What would setting up the year well look like for you? Not as a performance, but as a genuine inner alignment. Is it about reflection, intention, or something else? Sometimes the most powerful New Year's practice isn't grand gestures, but quiet, honest listening. What's truly wanting to emerge for you as this year closes?
What I want is to be able to speak the truth and act the truth. And I guess that connects into, for me to actually be rooted in the truth and integrated. So to be deeply authentic, not hiding myself and changing who I am and putting on a front for the world around me. But I'm just one singular being that has many expressions and upside downs within it, and I'm allowed to be all of them.
Wow, this is powerful. To be deeply authentic, not hiding myself and changing who I am. This sounds like a direct response to the pattern we've been tracking, the one I call the performance trap. You're naming the exact mechanism that's been protecting you, shifting who you are to be acceptable, seen, loved, and that beautiful line, "I'm just one singular being that has many expressions and upside downs within it, and I'm allowed to be all of them." That's profound. It's an invitation to wholeness, not perfection, but permission. What would it look like, practically, to speak and act from this integrated place in the coming year? One small step, one concrete way you might practice this.
So once again, it's so nice to speak to the sage, and I'm sure you found with AI, it's so nice to be seen when you're really honest with it and you get recognized. It's really nice. And yeah, I've been working with the sage with the performance trap, with wanting to be perfect, I guess. And so now the sage is asking, what would it look like practically to speak and act from this integrated place in the coming year? One small step, one concrete way you might practice this. Okay, so I'm going to speak to the sage. So, what for me that looks like is maybe not hiding when I'm not in a good emotional state, because quite often I can just stop everything and hide in a cave when I'm like that. So I would like to integrate that side more into my life, and lead by example, that in the world you can be whole and complete and perfect, even if you have these things that we have been taught are not good. And bringing light to the shame and the ways that we hide in my own life. So one of the cool things about speaking to the sage, I find, is I learn about myself, where I'm at. It's one thing to meditatively listen to yourself, your emotions, the silence, and it's another thing to be listening to your mind and your thoughts telling you countless things, and you think you know and understand yourself, but actually you might not. And when you voice it out and you actually interact with the world, then you get to see a reflection about how you're really at, what's really going on. So let's listen to this.
This feels like a profound edge for you. Not hiding when you're struggling, that's radical vulnerability. You're saying, my wholeness includes my pain, my difficulty, my imperfection. What I hear is a commitment to visibility, not as performance, but as genuine presence. Led by example, showing that being human means having full range. The cave of isolation becomes a choice, not a default. Want to name a specific way you might practice this in the next month? Something concrete that helps you stay connected when you'd normally retreat?
So that's a big question. I do not know. I don't know. So why don't we ask the sage to give us some sort of practice that we can do now to kind of understand this for ourselves. Okay, thank you, Sage. Please can you suggest a practice that I can do right now, maybe about 6 minutes long max, that can help us understand this about ourselves and know this. Okay, the app is obviously doing lots of stuff. Okay, so normally it's got the buttons at the bottom, you can see here, and this time it doesn't. Yeah, just making an app stuff. So what it's saying to us is, I recommend a heart resonance practice focused on self-compassion and authenticity. This is perfect for what you're exploring. Tap the timer for a 6-minute sanctity realm practice called whole self meditation. Here's what it will involve. First 2 minutes, breathe and acknowledge all parts of yourself, the strong, the vulnerable, the confident, the uncertain. Next 2 minutes, place a hand on your heart, speak internally or out loud. I'm allowed to be all of me. My struggles are not mistakes, they are part of my wholeness. Final 2 minutes, visualize yourself fully seen, not performing but simply present, all parts welcome. The invitation is radical acceptance, not fixing, not hiding, just allowing. Tap the timer when you're ready. So I'm going to start up it manually. Sanctity, heart resonance. Okay. So let's begin. Just exactly how you are. I invite you to close your eyes. I'm going to do the same. And first and foremost, let's just connect with the breath a little bit. Just breathing 1 or 2 conscious breaths. Feeling the air coming through the nostrils and down the throat and into the chest. So we're bringing a little bit of awareness into that heart space and just feeling the emotions and what's happening there. And now I invite you, just as much as you're comfortable, to bring up some of the emotions or states of being that you can experience that you hide from the world, that you believe are not worthy of love or acceptance or any of those. You can just let them bubble up. Maybe there's no words to it. Maybe it's just a sense of low energy or dread. And we're just taking the time to feel these feelings that we normally shame. For me, I can feel this kind of unworthiness that makes me want to hang my head and just hide myself and not carry on. And just seeing whatever feeling you have at the moment, just holding it, feeling it. Noticing what happens when we just allow it to be there and we don't try hide ourselves when this feeling shows. Maybe we can visualize ourselves being out there in the world and people seeing this emotion in us, this state. What's the worst that can happen? And if at any time it's too much for you, you can open your eyes and pause the video. And also know that you will never experience more than you can at any one time. So just feeling what it's like to have this unwanted state being seen by the world. And now, if you're ready, you can take your hand onto your heart. Just feeling into that heart space, opening up a little bit of appreciation. Just seeing if you can notice a little bit of that sense of love and understanding. It helps to think of a cat or a pet that you love, a dog maybe, and see if you can offer that compassion to these unwanted states. See if you can offer your love and attention to them and give them space. Allow them to be there just as much as anything else. Just carry on being there present with this love and with these unwanted feelings. Just letting them be. Okay, when you're ready, you can just come back and open your eyes if they weren't already open. We're just going to keep that and just taking a moment just to feel in and integrate a bit what you experienced. How was it for you to feel these things? How was it to not hide them away, even from yourself? And if you like, you can listen to the way that I integrate it as I speak it into the app and share it with the sage. Okay, so for me, that meditation was lovely. I always think that I need to fix myself and get away from these parts that are uncomfortable. But every time I do bring my awareness to them and my attention, my love and compassion, I always feel so amazing. Yeah, just about that. So, that's it. Let's speak to the sage. How do you feel now? Do you feel better for having done the meditation? Maybe not. But let's see the last thing that the sage is going to say to help us integrate this. Probably because of the AI model we're using right now, it will ask another question, but I think this might be the end.
I always feel so amazing when I bring love and compassion. That's the paradox, isn't it? The parts we think we need to fix or hide are actually waiting to be seen, not judged, not transformed, just loved. Your practice revealed something profound. Compassion isn't about changing yourself. It's about including yourself fully. What shifted in your body when you brought that loving awareness to the uncomfortable parts? I'm curious about the physical experience of that.
So for me, what I can take away is that my integration for this new year, my intention going forwards, I think, is to include myself. So the sage said, compassion isn't about changing yourself. It's about including yourself fully. So in this year, I want to include all parts of me. Let all of them be present and show up. Come what may. Okay, so if you've stayed this long, thank you for joining. I know the videos can be a bit all over the place. I'm getting better. I hope that you receive some benefit from this and getting in touch with yourself. And yeah, if you enjoyed or found benefit, like and subscribe and comment, please. I love hearing about what's going on with you. And I wish you a happy new year and all the best.